Alright, what's up guys, it's your Spider back for another Umamusume video. So today we're going to be getting right into brand new Halloween units. I'm very late to this, but you know, we'll just get right into this. Before I get started, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop me a like, comment, subscribe, would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. But with that being said, let's get right into this. So, we have Halloween Riceshower, Halloween Supercreek, Halloween support banner with Tamamo Cross and Zenno Rob Roy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly they do, which I'm assuming that most of you guys probably already saw me because how late this video is. Also, we are getting a brand new story event with this as well, so a new free-to-play support card, so that's pretty cool. We'll take a look at how good or how bad it is. So yeah, here's the Zenno Rob Roy support card. Lying weight, recover endurance and position toward the back upon approaching mid-race as a late surger. Then we have the other one, the Tamamo Cross one, which is 15 mil CC and then increased velocity on an uphill for a late surger. That actually sounds kind of good to me. And then let's take a look at the Uma. So we got Supercreek here as a mummy, you know, looks very nice. Me personally, probably gonna do a few pulls just to see if I can grab them because I think they look pretty close. But I'm more so just interested in Supercreek. But I mean, Riceshower doesn't look too bad either. Anyways, going to her stats, she has 74 speed, 106 stamina, 75 power, 98 guts, and 97 wit. Her main thing being is stamina. For tracks, she has an A for turf, G for dirt. Not gonna lie, we get a lot of these things. She doesn't even seem that great for a lot of these. But for distances, she has G for sprint, G for mile, A for medium, and A for long. So she's pretty good for mediums and long distances, but basically useless for sprints and miles. For styles, she has a D for front, A for pace, B for late, and G for end. So basically, she's a pace chaser. You can make her run as a late runner, and that's pretty much it. For her stats, we got more of these kind of wonky stats, but they're kind of even out. We got 14 speed, 8% stamina, 8% guts, and that's pretty much it for her growth rates. And then her unique skill, Give Mommy a Hug, which is Give Mommy a Hug, but you know, hey, I like the name. Increased ability to break out of the pack while well positioned and close to the runner ahead of the final straight. Doesn't sound too bad, it actually sounds pretty good. So her essential skills here are going to be Pace Chaser Corner, slight increased velocity on a corner, Pace Chaser, Professor of Curvature, really good one off the bat. Increased velocity on a corner with skill turning, medium straightaways, slightly increased velocity on a straight for medium races, and finally, Mystifying Murmur, disturb runners directly ahead, mid-race, medium. So basically, if she's paced for late runner, you're going to be perfect. As a front runner, you're not going to be able to really use this. Then we got Riceshower here, which is kind of like has a vampire look. First stat, she has 76 speed, 121 stamina, 67 power, 97 guts, 89 wit. So basically, both Riceshower and Supercreek are throwing most of their stats into stamina, which is quite interesting. For the track, she has A for turf, G for dirt. Not that many Umas are good for dirt at the moment, which is a little bit funny. At least, you know, if you don't count the last one we just got, who was like really good, right? The VTuber, or not VTuber, it's like the content creator kind of Uma, right? For distances, she has E for sprint, C for mile, A for medium, and A for long. So she works really good in mediums and longs. You can maybe make her work on miles, but probably not worth it. And then sprints don't even bother. For styles, she has B for front, A for pace, C for late, and then G for end. So basically, only really going to be a pace chaser. You can make her work as a front runner though if you really wanted to. For unique skill here, every roast has its fangs, suck endurance from runners ahead when well positioned and pressured by another runner mid-race. Sounds like a bit of a debuff skill, but basically it just gives you more stamina, or not stamina, but more endurance, more of the blue recovery stuff when she's behind any Umas, and she's able to basically just suck them, which is pretty good. Then we have, for essential skills here, we have corner recovery, slightly recover endurance on a corner with efficient turning. Calm and collected, decrease fatigue early race as a pace chaser, hesitant front runners, slightly decreased velocity of front runners late race, and then tantalizing trick, increased fatigue for rush runners behind when well positioned toward the front mid race. So basically works really as pace chaser because you're right in between there. Technically can make this also work as a late runner, but I think pace chaser, since it's also A, it's just gonna work out way better if you just leave her there. Yeah, overall, you know, not too bad. Alright, well, let's take a look at more details. So we'll take a look at Riceshower first. So we went over these, yada, went over the ascension skills, so he's gonna be the evolve skills. So have at least 600 stamina or have at least 800 power, And then you have to get at least 3 speed type skills, and then basically calm collected will turn into I'll do my best. So if you're a leader, which I think is gonna be like when you're like in the front half of the race, maybe if you're in the first half of the pack during the second half of the race or the opening leg, your speed will slightly increase and your stamina will recover. So basically, if you're a reliever as a pace chaser, that would pretty much fulfill that for the most part. So yeah, should get a speed boost and a stamina recovery boost, which is quite good. We have another one here for Tantalizing Trick. So when any race in Kyoto track race track 2 times and have at least 800 speed, and this will transform into Trick or Treat, or Trick and Treat. And then if you're in the first half of the pack during the middle part of the race, you will tire out girls that are behind you and distracted, and your speed will increase. So that's pretty good too, speed increase, and also basically make anyone behind you struggle more. And then these are skills she gets from her events. So we got firm conditions, moderately increased performance on firm ground, deep breaths, slightly decreased fatigue by taking a breather upon entering a straight for long races, frenzied pace chasers, increased time needed for pace chasers to calm down when they become rushed. Then we have Kyoto Racecourse, moderately increased performance at Kyoto Racecourse. And then here's going to be her races. So the usual make debut, then place 5th or better in the Spring Stakes, then place 5th or better in the Tokyo Yushin or Japanese Derby, then place 3rd or better in the Kika Show, then place 3rd or better in the Nikki Show, then place 1st in the Tenno Show Spring, then place 3rd or better in the Tarazuka Kinen, and then finally place 1st in the Army Kinen, which is a bit funny that it ends in December, not like October, because you know they're supposed to be Halloween based. But I don't know, I just found that a little bit amusing, but not too many races overall, which is could be good if you know you want someone a little bit quick, when some of the turns might be a little bit longer. Let's take a look at Supercreek here, the mummy version. So I'm going over these pretty much. And then we're going to go to evolve skills. So Professor Kurcher gets a buff, which is actually quite good because the skill itself is already gold. So when any G1 race 3 times or have at least 800 speed and have at least 600 stamina or have at least 800 wit. So you could do like a wit speed thing that could work out pretty well, or you can also just do G1 races that could work out very well. But basically Professor Kurcher will transform into Professional Pamperer, and so at a random point during a random corner or on a random corner, your speed will increase and your stamina will slightly recover. I don't know if that's better, because if it's a random corner, yeah, because this one says increased velocity on a corner with skill turning, but then over here it's saying on a random corner you get this increase in speed and stamina, or your stamina will recover a little bit and your speed will increase. So I mean, it's not like it's the worst thing, but the fact that it's on a random corner doesn't really sound that great, to be honest. But I guess technically the original version is the same thing. Because I mean, let's see, you're getting, I mean, you're basically just getting recovery. So I mean, it's not bad, right? But it's just the fact that it's a random is just kind of like, whoa, you know, is that really a buff? But I don't know. I think it's okay. Just the random part is just kind of making me feel like it's not that great. So next thing though, we got Mystifying Murmur will transform into Charming Mummy Whisperer. And for this one, you have to basically, in the training event here, you select the 3rd option, which will probably show up for you. You know, because now that we have the whole, you know, new QOL or whatever. Or get at least 2 skills for medium aptitude and get at least 2 recovery type skills. So basically, you know, once it transforms into Charming Mummy Whisperer, for any medium races during the middle part of the race, if you have been blocked from the front, you drain some stamina from all enemies ahead of you. So that's actually quite strong. Basically making it so where they're gonna start falling back a little bit, hopefully, and then you can like push through them is the idea with that one, I'm assuming. And then here's going to be your skills from events. So we have Corner Recovery, slightly recover endurance on a corner with efficient turning. Then we got Hydrate, slightly recover endurance mid-race as a pace chaser. Then we got Studious, slightly widen field of view with height observation mid-race as a laser surger. Then we got Steadfast, slightly increased ability to fight back when passed by another runner on the final corner medium. Then we got Prepare to Pass, slightly increased ability to break out of the pack on the final corner as a pace chaser. So yeah, pretty much all good stuff here. You know, got some recovery skills, some abilities so she has less of a chance of getting blocked, and then other abilities to basically help her push out if she doesn't get blocked a little bit. Now let's go to our races here. So we have the usual make debut, then we have place 3rd or better in the Sumier Stakes, then we have place 3rd or better in the Kika Show, then we place 3rd or better in the Army Kennen, then place 3rd or better in the Osaka High, and then place 3rd or better in the Tenno Show Spring, then place 1st in Tenno Show Autumn, and finally place 1st in the Army Kennen. So pretty much very, very, very similar to Riceshower's races here with that amount. It is 8 races total, and then some of them do kind of like overlap a little bit. to an extent, but not completely. But yeah, not too bad. Also, both of them do end in December, which is quite funny to me. Now, going into the support cards here, let's go over Zenno Rob Roy first. So it's going to be a speed type skill. We're going to look at it as 0 dupes, and we're going to look at it at MOB. Also, sorry for sounding kind of nasally. My allergy said it hit randomly, so that's great. Also, I'm dealing with a bit of sickness at the moment. But anyways, so 0 dupes, we got increased the effectiveness of friendship training by 10%, increases the effectiveness of training performed by 5%, friendship bonus 15%, initial friendship gauge 20, specialty party 35, training effectiveness 5%, and then mood effectiveness by 20%. So decent stuff, nothing too crazy. At MLB, we got 20% friendship bonus, 25 friendship gauge, 50 specialty priority, 5% training effectiveness, 30% mood, 1 speed, hit level 30, it's actually quite good, and hit frequency 40%, I think that's also quite good as well. Personally, hit levels for hit frequency, and then also the whole, I forget what it was called, the race bonus, I think those are all really good. So whenever I see those, I think that's already making it like a really good card personally. But at the same time, the hints that the card does give, I think, do play a pretty good role as well as to how good or bad a card is, especially if there's like a ton of hints, that could be bad. Or if the hints, or the, the skills, whatever that it can give you, if there's too many of them that are random that are not that great, that could also like lower its like rating in terms of how good it could be. But anyways, these are going to be the skills you get hints for, discounts essentially. So we got Pace Chaser Savvy, Late Chaser Savvy, Straightaway Adept, Nimble Navigator, Shrewd Step, Prudent Positioning, Go with the Flow, and then Studious. You can pause the video if you want to read it yourself, but here you go pretty much. And then skills for events from the card itself. We got Right-Handed, Left-Handed, Lying in Wait, Recover Endurance when positioned toward the back upon approaching mid-race as a late surgery, and then we got Medium Straightaway. So some decent stuff here for skills. Definitely the gold one here is the best one, and then medium straightaways isn't too bad, but the green skills are kind of whatever, but they could be useful if you need them for any like missions or whatever, right, to get like an upgraded version of like other skills. But the events that you get for hints, they're decent. I want to say they're that crazy, to be honest. It's very navigation based, so not really that great in terms of hints quality, but I mean, it's an option, but I want to say these are like great, to be honest. So I want to think this card is that good personally, just because the fact that the hints it does give you are kind of mediocre at best, but the hints the skills you do get from the event of this card itself are not too bad in and of itself. But at the very least, the passives that you do get at MLB are kind of good for the hint frequency and all that stuff, but nothing too crazy in my opinion. Next, we got Tamamo Lacrosse. It is going to be power card. Sometimes I get confused with the name a little bit. So let's take a look. So 0 dupes here. Unique effect. Increased effectiveness of friendship training by 10%. Initial friendship gauge when beginning career is 15. Friendship bonus 20%. Mood effect 40%. Race bonus 5%. Fan bonus 15%. Specialty priority 50. And initial friendship gauge 15. So at MLB, we're now looking at 25 friendship bonus. 60% mood effectiveness, which is actually quite high, so I think that's pretty good. Race bonus 10%, that's pretty good. Fan bonus 20%, that's pretty good too. Specialty priority 65, initial friendship gauge 20, and then stamina bonus of 1, and initial power of 30. It's actually quite strong. That's a lot when you begin a career playthrough. So yeah, honestly, so far off to a great start. I think this is like a lot of good stuff personally for this what this card is getting, at least for the passive stuff here. Let's take a look at the hints. So we got Rosy Outlook, Soft Step, Medium Corners, 1 mil 500cc, Thunderbolt Step, Frenzy Late Surgers, and then Fluster Late Surgers. So we have, let's see, Rosy Outlook doesn't look too bad. So we got 2 blue skills, which aren't too bad. The yellow skills here are like okay, nothing too crazy, but Medium Corners and then 1 mil is pretty good for at least getting you more velocity. The Thunderbolt Step's kind of whatever, and then the 2 debuff skills aren't too bad, but like, in most cases you're not really going to be using it, right? Unless you're trying to build an evil nature deck, but even then there's probably going to be better cards for that. And the skills you get from the event itself are going to be Wet Conditions, 15 mil CC, which is increasing velocity on the uphill as a late surger, so it's quite a lot because of the gold skill. And then you get Calm in a Crowd, slightly recover endurance once around in mid race, also quite good. So the skills you do get from the event itself, I think, are pretty good. I'd say in my opinion this is Tamamo cross card. It already looks way better than the Zenno Rob Roy one. This one does have some nice stuff, like I said, with the whole hint stuff being like level 3 and frequency 40%, but I think overall the passive buffs from this card, from the Tamamo cross one, are just way better in my opinion, personally. And then let's take a look finally at the free-to-play one that you do get from actually grinding the event itself. So it's going to be a wait card, and we're just going to go straight to looking at it MLB since it is free-to-play, and then you can technically get it. I mean, you can get it fully MLB as long as you grind the event for long enough, because you know how long these events can take for grinding these cards. So, unique effect here: increased effectiveness of training performed by 5%, increases initial speed when beginning a career playthrough by 20, not too bad. Friendship bonus 20%, wit friendship recovery 5, that's not too bad. Specialty priority 20, moon effect 40%, initial friendship gauge 20, race bonus 5%, phantom bonus 10%, speed bonus 1, and initial weed of 30. Honestly, not too bad. Decent stats all around for the passives here. I say this is not too bad, especially since it's a wet card as well. So the hints here, we don't have too many, which I think in my opinion could be like a much better case, just because that means you might be able to stack up on these, and you know, I just think sometimes in some cases having less things that are going to be getting discounted can be more beneficial. So we have Snowy Days here, Front Runner Straightaways, Front Runner Corners, and then Early Lead. So basically only for front runners, but the stuff it does give you is quite good. So basically for straights, corners, you'll get more velocity, and then if you're gonna, and then as well as Early Lead, basically making it to where your front runner is gonna have a higher chance of staying in the front, at least in the beginning of the race. So overall, pretty good hints there. I'd say those are pretty good. Skills from events itself, we got Moxie, slightly reduce fatigue on uphill as a front runner. I think it's pretty good. Taking the lead, increased ability to go to the front early race as a front runner. So basically the same thing as Early Lead, and then but you know, a buff version. And then we got Focus, slightly decreased time loss to slow starts, which honestly isn't too bad. So overall, yeah, not a bad card. I say this isn't like super OP, but it's, you know, pretty good for a free to play card, I'd say, for the most part. I'd say a lot of these things here and the hits themselves are pretty good for the most part, especially the skills. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Let's see, next thing we got is the reviews, right? Let's take a look at how good let's take a good look at how good both Umas are real quick. Alright, as usual, 5 means really good, 1 means not really good, not really the best thing to pick, but if you really like them, go for it, why not? So, we're gonna go over Supercreek first, the Halloween version. Pace Chasers 2, Team Trousers 3, as a Parrot Chase 5, and then as a Stamina Debuffer, minus 3%. I'm not too sure why, but we'll take a look at what that is. So basically, she's really good as a parent, so she has a lot of great skills that she can give to other Umas that they can inherit. In Team Trial, she's okay, very average, and then as a Pace Chaser, as like a regular running Uma, not really optimal, not really that great. So, Mummy Creek is a mandatory parent for front and pace whenever Pasa whenever Pasa, I'm assuming Condor Pasa. However, all of these tracks are short and mile, which Creek has G in, so she's not great. She's not good as a racer herself. On sprint tracks where CN doesn't work, Pasa and Halloween Creek are mandatory parents. She can be used as a second stamina debuffer if you do not have Mayono Bride. So I think they're basically saying is that they don't really specify which Pasa, but I'm gonna assume since it's just Pasa, it's probably like the regular B rank Pasa, or the, you know, the one that's like 2-star rating. So basically they're just saying in some cases you will want to run this Supercreek to help give, you know, good inheritable skills to other front runners that are good for front running. Otherwise, you're not really going to be using this Uma for any like actual racing. You're just going to be training her up just so she can be a parent and then give her good skills to other Umas that can actually use it. Or like they just said, Sea and Sky doesn't really work that well. So overall, not a bad pick if you do get her. But just know that she's gonna be parent, you know, parent milked or whatever. You know, she's only gonna be used as a parent really, and that's about it. Next we got Riceshower Halloween. So she has 3 for Pace Chaser, 4 for Team Trials, and then Stamina Debuffer minus 3%, usually only 1 enemy, and as a parent she has 2. So basically, she's pretty good in Team Trials. You can make her work as like a regular Pace Chaser Uma, and then as a parent she's not really that great. So kind of the complete opposite of Supercreek here. the Halloween version specifically. So, Halloween Riceshower is a bit different from usual stamina debuffers who are backliners. She instead goes to pace or front, typically if she's being used. It's to give your frontrunner someone to compete with, while also having debuffs. Her kit is good but not special, and her debuff isn't consistent in Stadium since someone needs to Kakari, which I'm not too sure what that is, but it's probably some sort of like status that eventually gets brought up in the game. But yeah, so basically you're just gonna be using her in team trials to basically, like, you know, give that buff to your other Uma to basically help her win the race. Otherwise you're not going to be using her for too much of anything else. So yeah, overall, at least in terms of the Uma side of things, not too bad. We'll take a look at, I'll give my full rundown once we get through the support cards here. So first support card here, we're going to be going over, I gotta go through these a little bit. It's going to be the Zenno Rob Roy one. So going through the tier list here that I like using, we're going to be looking at the JP version because the global one isn't updated quite yet. But if we go take a look, MLB is considered F tier, and then Zero Dips is also F tier. So in my opinion, especially because the free-to-play one of the special week one is up here in E tier, my assumption for global would be that Zero Dip of course would be F tier. MLB would be probably, like, if we go to the global one real quick, right, where do they have special week? Special week MLB is considered D tier, so then that would mean that the new Rob Roy one will probably be E tier, and the Zero Dupe version would be an F tier is where I would personally put it. So yeah, basically Rob Roy one is considered pretty mid, not that great, so don't even worry about the Rob Roy one. It is not that good at all. You don't need to worry about picking that one up. Now taking a look at the Tamamo Cross one here, this one is actually quite good, like I did mention. So this one is actually going to be in B tier at 3 dupes, and then also MLB also in B tier, but like a little bit higher up, right? And then if we were to go down to 0 dupes, this one's going to land down in F tier. So not that great at 0 dupes, but really good at basically MLB here. So if we go to the global version, right, this one is basically matched up with El Condor Pasa, MLB, and then also Vodka almost at MLB. So if we go to global version and we were to peep it, that would mean that since El Condor Pasa and also both versions, MLB and 3 dupe of Vodka, is S tier, that would mean that the Tamamo Cross one is pretty much also going to be an S tier one on global at the moment, is where I would put it for both MLB and 3 dupes. And then 0 dupes would be probably C tier, maybe D tier, between these two. So yeah, if you do get the Tamamo Cross one, it is quite good, is quite strong, and even still on JP, as we did see, it is still considered a really strong and viable support card to have if you are able to get it. So it's very good. So yeah. And unfortunately, the free-to-play one, which usually is always is always the case, it is in D tier. It is not that great apparently. It is basically equivalent to shoot, I forgot the name. But it's like down here, right? It's like not considered that great of a support card. I mean, if we were to match it up, right, with like Die with Scarlet, if we were to match it up with that one on global, then it would probably look a little bit better, to be honest. Like if we were to go look at it right now. Now with Scarlet is considered C tier, so yeah. So basically I like MLB, it would be like a C tier one. Otherwise, without MLB, it would probably be a lot lower, right? Yeah, so that's where it is. At 0 dupes, I assume it's probably like down here. Yeah, it's down here. So yeah, basically MLB, well, you go right at the same time, right? It is free to play, so you are able to get an MLB. But yeah, it would basically be like C tier. So it's usable, right? It's usable. Not the best thing in the world, but it is a usable card if you do have it, but not something that's like game breaking. So if you do miss out on it, not too much to worry, but at the same time, you might as well try and get it. Anyways, lastly, is it worth to pull? Also, I didn't realize this video was so damn long. Sorry about that, guys. Is it worth to pull for any of those who are still have not pulled yet? I'd say if you really wanted to, it wouldn't be too bad if you really wanted to pull for Supercreek or Riceshower, because they're not too bad. I will be doing some pulls because I do like them. I do like seasonal themed characters like that. Support card runner is actually quite good for Tamamo Cross, but at the same time, if you are interested in more meta reasons, probably best just to skip. Main reason being is because if you go to the timeline here a little bit, you got 1, 2, 3, more support card menus to go through, and then we get a rerun of Kid-san Black. So for any of you guys who are waiting for Kid-san Black rerun, it is coming very, very soon, probably by December. So I would say best to hold off on doing any pulls until then if you're interested in getting this card or getting an MOB. Not to mention we should be getting Christmas or New Year's Aguri Cap, which is currently the most meta and currently next main Uma to look for in terms of like who's coming out relatively soon. So just keep that in mind. This isn't really a good banner to summon on, but if you really want to just for fun, might as well maybe like a mole tier 2 when it hurt, but for meta reasons, probably best to skip this one out. Well, that being said, hope this video helps you guys out. Let me know down below how your pulls went if you guys haven't pulled already, or if you did pull, let me know. I'm really interested to know about that. Well, that being said, I'm gonna see you later. Peace and take care, everybody.